Welcome to the Leadership Kit.
What are you learning? Hey, what's up, leaders? We are back for our second week with Mayor Bill Mutz. Last week we asked him, how are you winning? And this week we're asking him, what are you learning right now?
We're so excited for you to check this out. Watch the video. Let us know in the comments what you think about what he has to say. We want to hear from you too.
Earlier you talked about being teachable and how important that is. So what are some of the things that you are currently learning?
I think before becoming mayor, I was a person who listened pretty well to people. But I think since I've been mayor, that I listen more deeply. So I can see people in this role that I have had no personal relationship with that are spewing mad. I'm talking about, there's droplets coming from their mouth, and wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming, but who can overcome jealousy? I'm on the wrath is cruel, jealousy could be worse, and so these people are just furious. And I know no one wakes up in the morning to be furious.
Yeah.
No one wakes up in the morning to be furious. People are hurt. People assume just what we've talked about earlier, that you don't care and listen to them about. They have things that may be related to that problem, or they may be related to a problem completely differently. So eye connecting and looking them, because the eyes are the windows to the soul, making certain I'm trying to hear what they are saying, and trying to get to the root of the need, and also make sure that they have an opportunity to hear a different perspective if there is one, is important to me. So one of the questions I've learned to do that I didn't do earlier is, after the spewing, if I know there really is something else that could also be mentioned in this that they might like to know that would help understand why we are doing something in a certain way, I ask the question, would you like another perspective? And what do you think they generally say?
Yes.
They generally say no.
I think what
I know how much I value perspective. But
Right. So that's a good that you answer that way. I will tell you 90% of the time they say no.
Yeah.
So that to me is interesting, because it's helped me at two levels. One, I don't immediately move into defensive mode. Well, now here's the other side. You need that kind of mode. Not that you'd be that overt. But I'm also not wasting their time or my time, because they don't want another perspective.
Mm-hmm.
They have a perspective. It is a perspective. So I'll fast forward and tell you that's why I think we're so polarized as a nation. And I do think social media tends to give us echo chambers with the people that we agree with, and that kind of thing occurs. So what they've got to see from us is a genuineness to say, well, then I appreciate you sharing with me your perspective, and I hear what you're saying, and I'll try and make sure we take that into consideration as we go forward, so that they know there's something about that answer I really hate that you gave it to me, but I can tell you really mean it.
Yeah.
And I think it's the gospel lived out in life, and we're not here to bring people to our point. If we do this well, instead of being with these extremes, we end up moving closer together, because people start to believe that you really kind of do care. They come back to round two and they'll ask you another question. Then sometimes they may say, so you told me once you were going to tell me about this, give me another perspective. Well, that's a teachable moment. Why teach in a non-teachable moment?
Right.
There's no reason.
right.
And so when they do that, you have this opportunity, and they move in towards the middle. And to me, it's ironic, because we talk about polarized being apart. It's ironic that when we aren't polarized, we're by the heart, and that is what we do. We collaborate right here, and there's a center place to land on lots of issues that we don't have to. I'm not talking about biblical truth. I mean, we know what absolutes are, but there's a lot of other areas in life that are off the center of absolutely has to be this way and no other way. And most times it's because people have not been heard and are hurting. And so that's just been an area where it's helped me try on a little microcosm, limited human scale basis, see our city more like I think God sees us as a world, where you work to love and understand everyone to the greatest extent possible. Now, I'm humanly limited. God's not. But that same kind of compassion is why he lets this world spin. When you think of what he has seen 6.5 billion people do, we're 7 billion or whatever we are at this point, in the last 24 hours, and the immense amount of sin and incredible destruction and murders that have taken place, if he didn't have grace, you would annihilate this place in one 24-hour day. If we saw what he saw, why does he need to do that? Because he seeks to bring all to him that can come. And his grace is a picture to me of that kind of understanding. That's our responsibility, is to seek that kind of understanding. Another area to me of something that I've learned in the last couple of years, you grow the people who do the work. You don't spend time thinking, oh, this person would be wonderful for that job. And they haven't done anything to evidence the work to get there, and maybe they are charismatically positive and a higher profile. But you grow people who are doing it. You don't look for other people. And I think this is so true in the city. When we work on who are we going to grow and really take through and take to the next levels, especially as I would relate more to them on the department head side and certain city management. Who are those people doing the work? Who are those people that volunteer? Who are those people that hang back? Who are those people who get there early? And that's why showing up is such an important part of wanting to become a leader. You have to show up to lead. And you show up way earlier than you ever have an opportunity to lead by doing what needs to be done. And so I really like catching people in the process of doing great things, celebrating them. We do a VIP lunch for our staff once a quarter. We had 70 people in it this last quarter, which are the values of the city. People caught them in the process of doing that. That to me is the kind of celebration you want to be able to do. And it's with people that are just out there doing their jobs every day. And it encourages people to want to do more of that. And so I just want to get better at doing that.
I believe you can teach anything except for heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you've got someone who is performing
That's
really
good.
well, but they're not putting their all into it, they don't show up every chance they
They
get.
have excuses all the time.
Right. Those people, while they may be really great at their job right now, the person who comes in and tries, and maybe they're not as good, but their heart's in it, those are the people that are going to take you where you need to be tomorrow.
Because passion carries the ball.
Absolutely.
We visited a company just 2 weeks ago with the Central Florida Development Council, took 40 people to Raleigh.
Our home state, North Carolina.
All right, well, good job. So we went to Raleigh to learn from North Carolinians, because you know how wise they are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
They're
all right,
sharp.
all right.
They're real sharp.
So one of them, who's a North Carolinian that lives there, has a company, and we were talking to their HR person. It's very novel the way their company's run. So for example, you do lunches that are 90 minutes because you can't eat and exercise in 60 minutes. And he wants you to come back in the afternoon. This is a thinking IT company with a fresh mind that's been refreshed by both exercise and food. But then one of the other things they do is they have a stoplight that is part of your personal profile in the system. So if you look up and you're looking at your records for your payroll or whatever it is, there's this green, yellow, or red stoplight. The green is you're on track, you're doing what we've set for your near-term goals, your quarterly goals, and your annual goals. The yellow light is to remind you that you're off the mark, and we have set down things that you need to be doing, and in theory you're correcting those and moving yourself back up to the green. And the red light is we gave you yellow criterion, you didn't ever do any of those things, and so you have now, for X period of time, you've now dropped to red. So I said, so how often do you have to, they have 700 employees, do you have to let people go? He goes, hardly ever, because people know they're in the red. They're making a decision not to get themselves out of the red. They know they need to be looking for a job, and we've given them a relatively short threshold in which to do all of that. And so what happens is they take themselves out of that role because they're not willing to do what it takes to do the work that everybody else on the team says is reasonable to do. And I'm not suggesting that we should all run around with our little stoplights, but I do think there's a self-evaluation that you can do. Am I in the green? Am I in the yellow? Or am I performing at a red level? And if I'm making excuses all the time and people are making suggestions in my life and I'm not taking those things, I'm not teachable, I am not learning, I'm not trying to grow, and I'm not pushing myself, I'm lazy. Listen, we can be 40 years old, 50 years old, and not be doing what we have the capacity to do because we're making excuses all the time for why we can't today. And we need to look at that as a red light in our lives and get off the couch. I hate the word whatever. It's a cuss word for me. And so, because it isn't about whatever, it's about whatever I need to do, I go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's
all
good.
done.
One of my pastors said that 9 times out of 10, you're the solution to your problems.
Right.
You know, we wonder like, well, we don't have enough people on our team on Sunday morning to get this done. We don't have enough resources to get the stuff we need to get. We don't have, he always said, like 90% of the time, you're the answer to your problem. If you want more people, you have to go tap on some shoulders and get more people. It's up to you. If you need more resources, you really just need to be more resourceful. If and so.
No, that's right. And you figure that out.
Right.
And you figure that out. And I need to figure that out instead of saying, hey, why don't you fix my thing over here?
I remember asking him what he looks for when he's trying to find somebody to build up as a new leader. He's like, I'm looking for somebody that's fat. And I was like, why? And I thought he was just being offensive. He said, I want someone faithful, available, and teachable.
That's good.
So I was like, that's what we need. We need people that are faithful, available, and teachable.
That's good. So that's why this is such an important topic. And it isn't about the person who is at the top of that leadership. It's leadership by each of us at the level we've given them the opportunity to have responsibility.
That's good.
Guys, you have just finished week 2 with our friend Mayor Bill Mutz, and we know that it's adding value to you, and we'd like to know in the comments below. So please share with us your thoughts, your anecdotes, your stories. What are some of your favorite things that he said? Leave us a comment below and let us know what you're thinking.
Thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you guys next week for our last video with Mayor Bill Mutz.